Hello guys, we need to continue our work now. So the next step now, after we have this presentation for these tools and how do we use them, we need now to access to GCyber and Certification Authority. And this is where do I have a certificate which authorize the CA to work as a CA. And this certificate is given definitely by ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services. So this certificate in here to authorize CA, I need to right click, access to properties, and in properties in here, as you see, you have certificate 0. We need to view this certificate. We need to do the same with this one. So in here I need to log in. Okay, and in here we can access from tools to certification authority. And in here for my certification authority, right click, properties, Victoria DC1 now. The certificate is in there. I need to access to details and copy to file. Here, welcome to certificate export wizard. Next. And this type of CAR is fine. Go to next. We have two main types, the CAR and PFX. CAR is for authentication. PFX, this one usually has the recovery key. We will see later a recovery agent section or lab how to use a PFX certificate. But for now, I just need this one, CAR. Next. And I need now browse on this PC and C drive. Let us here create a folder. This folder, call it cert for certificate. Open it. And then here I'll just type MD cyber root because that was certificate is. It is the root of CA. We can add just to it CA if you like and save. Then you need to go to next. This one, as you see, is not going to export keys. It is just for authentication. The export was successful. Okay and okay. Now I need another technique here also, and this one I need to do the same. So for the certificate 0, we need to view certificate. Good. And now in details, we need again to copy to file. We have the wizard next, DER encoded for CAR certificate next. A browse again in this device and this PC. We need now on C directory to create a new folder. This folder again I'm going to call it certificates, and here let us call this one now it is path. This one is MD cyber root CA. Save, next, and finish, and the export was successful. Okay, let us check now our C drive. Click on File Explorer and this PC now and C drive. Here this one in Perth I have MD cyber. I'll just move it to certification folder, and in Victoria DC1 we need to access to File Explorer also, to this PC, to C drive, to certificate. Here mistakenly I just typed the name MD cyber, but it is just a name. I can simply right click and rename it. So this one is for GCyber. Now what do we need? We need now to send this certificate to Perth, and we need to send the certificate of Perth to Victoria. Okay, how we can do that? Now because we have a virtual environment, it is simple. I can just copy the certificate to the hoster and then I'll copy it again to the virtual machine. Another technique, I can create a zip file. This is a real life, and then I will send it even by using an email, for example, or upload it to a trusted website, then they can access. And there is another technique which is by using a shared folder. Now you might ask, but in here we don't have permission to access because we don't have a trust relationship now here in this environment. We don't have a validation services. Yes, but you can access to what we call it a $C admin, and you just need to know what is the username and password of the other forest. And we already know it because here in both environments we are the admins. But for that you need to activate also the router. Here in your environment, we need to power on the router because I need that router to give me an access between both domain controllers in different networks. Here, at least I can ping between them. Once I can ping, then I can access to what I need. We will see how to do that. Just waiting now for the router to be online. It is in there. We need to log in now. Here we are. Now I'll just try from Victoria DC1. I'll try to ping the domain controller on the other side. So right click on start, run. We need to access now to CMD. And here now, of course, this one is 192.168.04. I need to ping now 10.0.0.4. And as you see, it is a variable, and TTL is 127, which means I just passed one hub or one router. Now what I need to do in here, take a look to this. I would right click on my start run. I'll try now to access to 10.0.0.4, and in here I'm going to add backward slash C drive $, which means allow me to access as an admin. hit enter, and as you see now, I have the power to access in there. This is the certificate in here. So what I need to do now, let us switch to full screen mode. I need now to access to my local certificate folder in here, and I need to give a copy to them and take a copy to me. And this file might be harmful, it's fine, okay. So as you see now, in both domain, I have now the two certificates. Good, I close this one, close this one. Now it is time to add these certificates to the trusted root in a group policy. So what I need to do now is we need to access to server manager, and currently I'm using Victoria DC1. So here I need to access to tools, to group policy management. And as you see, gcyber local. And here currently I have a default domain policy. And here either I will edit default domain policy, but as you know, it's preferred to create a new GPO when you try to do new things. So let us call this one root CA. This one is attached to the domain, so any settings you are going to modify in here is going to affect your entire domain. Now for the root CA, I'll just right click, edit. Now in computer configuration, in policies, Windows settings, then we need to access to security. And in here now, we have a public key policies, and in there we have trusted root certification authorities. Currently, of course, it is empty. I would right click, and I want now to import both certificate. It is for the local machine. Next, browse, and in here now in my C drive certificate, I have both of these. I will start with my local certification authority in Victoria DC1, which is gcyber, open. Next, here, place all certificate in trusted root certification authorities. Next, and finish. Usually takes sometimes 1 minute, so just waiting for it. The import was successful. Here I have it, and I need another import. Right click import. Next, browse. We already have now the gcyber. We need also to import mdcyber. Next, next, finish. And of course, by this now, both CAs and both forests are trusted in both forests too. But of course, we need to do the same exactly in Perth DC1, because currently only Victoria trusts Victoria and Perth. Perth doesn't trust Victoria yet. I need, of course, to run GP update. So right click on start, run CMD, and in here we need to run GP update force. Now in Perth DC1, we need to do exactly the same. I have the certificates as you see in here, both of them. In tools now, can I close this one? In tools now, we need to access also to group policy management. And in here for mdcyber now, I need to create a new GPO. Again, this one is root CA. Link it to the root, right click edit. Now computer configuration policies, Windows settings, we have security. And again, we have public key policies. And there we have a trusted root certification authority. Currently it is empty as we see. Right click import. Next, browse, access to certification folder. Anyhow, I'll start with mdcyber now. It is a local CA for Perth. Open, next, next, finish. Okay, and then again I would right click in here, import, browse, gcyber. Next, next, finish. Right click on start, run CMD, just waiting for confirmation. And here we need to run GP update, /force. But I'm just waiting now for the import was successful. Here I have it. As we see now, in both domain, the GP is updated successfully. We have the certificates in there, same in here. Now what we need to do, because now we installed the certificate authority in both forests, we exchange root CA in both sites, and we deploy those root CAs using a group policy in both sites. I need now to shut down my machines and create a new snapshot. So from now on, when I need to start a new lab, if I want to start it with the CA, which is already in there and installed, I can revert back to the snapshot which we are going to create right away. But if I want to do this lab again, the CA lab, to get more experience, then I can revert back my machines to the main snapshot, which is a snapshot number 1. Here we just now power over this one. And the router currently also, I don't need it. So I can just shut it down. Just shut down guest. We exit the full screen mode, waiting for the machine to turn off, to shut down. Here's go. Now for Perth DC1, I can right click, and then here now in the snapshot manager, as you see, I already have the old one. I can take a new snapshot, this one number 2. I will call, for example, CA is installed and exchanged the CA root with, here we talk about path, so I need to tell it is with Victoria DC1, and I know Victoria DC1 is gcyber.local. Also I need to copy this text. Here we take a snapshot now, and let us now access to Victoria DC1, right click snapshot. Here we need also take a snapshot, so here just Control V, and this time in here CA is installed and exchange say root with Perth DC1. I know exactly what is the situation, which is here MD Cyber, and take a snapshot. Now if I take a look to the Perth DC1, right click in snapshot, we need to access to snapshot manager. Here I have two snapshots, this one before CA, the initial setting, this one with the CA after it's installed, and I am in here. I'm free now to do any lab I wanted if I need the certification authority. If I want to redo the lab of CA, then I need to revert to this snapshot, and then I can start again the installation of the CA. Okay, that's what we have it for now. In the next video, we need to start the installation of the subordinate. Subordinate is not something that I will need it all the time. So whenever I finish the lab, I can simply revert back my machines to snapshot 2, to this stage where I have the CA in both domains. Thanks for watching, and we need to continue in the next video.